Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. We got a 2007 Toyota Matrix, 178,000 miles. Customer complaint is it's loping. It doesn't run quite right. And I see the parts cannon shot a mass airflow sensor at it. Yeah, made in Taiwan. I don't know if I can trust that. But scanning it for codes. 2195 AFR O2 sensor excess lean signal bank 1 sensor 1. Same thing here. AFR O2 sensor excess lean signal bank 1 sensor 1. And in pending, same code there. So it doesn't like that upstream sensor. Let's go right for a data. I mean, it's a Toyota, and what usually goes in Toyotas? Just oxygen sensors, right? Once in a while. So this might be a boring video unless we run into something else, but the shop owner here said that this car has been to several shops and for some reason it has a mass airflow sensor on it. Well, if the code said O2 sensor, then why wouldn't they replace it? Let's see what data comes up here. Alright, so let's just customize this list. Engine speed, coolant temp, short and long-term fuel trims, vehicle speed, bank 1 sensor 2 voltage, very important, bank 1 sensor 1 air fuel sensor voltage, and there's heater, test, whatever, don't really care about that. It would be nice to see lambda. Well, let's see where this goes. And where's the mass airflow? Actually, I really don't like this data list. Let's see what's under engine data. Customize that guy. Engine speed, that's open or closed loop. Trims, intake air, definitely want the mass airflow. Throttle position. You can't see what the oxygen sensors are doing on this data list. That's really kind of annoying. Or the fuel trims. Well, the fuel trims we can see, but not the oxygen sensors. Well, let's see what it does. At least look at our short and long-term fuel trims. See how it runs. Starts up fine. Open loop. 3.9 grams per second. Seems like it has decent throttle response. I think I hear a little exhaust leak. Closed loop fault. Okay. So save that. Let's go back to our oxygen sensor list. No comm. What happened? Alright, well here's the list. Bank 1 sensor 2 is stuck lean. Doesn't look to be responsive. Bank 1 sensor 1 voltage, so this is the air-fuel ratio, and it should be around 3.3 consistently, but you can see it sometimes it drops to 0, sometimes it's 1.8, sometimes it's at 4. And look at the short-term fuel trim. Sometimes it's going to like -14, -15, sometimes it's at 0. And the car is starting to lope. You can see the engine RPMs are kind of going up and down, about 100 RPM. I'm going to raise the RPMs just a little bit. Look at that, short term. Now it's back up. Wow, that air-fuel ratio sensor is swinging crazy. From 0 to 5 volts. It should be flatlined at 3.3 if it's working good. That's definitely a problem. It's all out of whack. Here we go. So whenever the fuel trims go -20 is when it really starts to shudder and it's starved for fuel. And I don't like this bank 1 sensor 2 stuck at 0 either. There might be an exhaust leak in front of that one. Okay. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen there in the bank 1 sensor 1. So it probably needs at least an upstream sensor, but we're not going to guess. We're actually going to take a look, and also on this bank 1 sensor 2 we can unplug it and see if that drops to 0. Just make sure its circuit integrity is there, but it's not setting codes for, you know, heaters or anything. I think this air fuel sensor is just toast. Well, lo and behold, hey, that looks pretty new. Now my question is that a regular oxygen sensor or is it an air-fuel ratio sensor? Because the way this thing's acting, it's going up and down, it's oscillating like an old, you know, an old school oxygen sensor, but this car, it requires an air-fuel ratio sensor. I think that is why we're having that problem where it's going to 5 volts and then down to 0. So I think we need to get an OEM, you know, Denso sensor for this thing, and then you know, go from there. So just for kicks, I want to unplug this sensor and see what the car does without it. Boom, easy. So if it's just setting that one code, I want to erase it and see what it does with the sensor unplugged. Excess lean signal, bank 1 sensor 1. So 2195. And clear codes, yes. And so I think what happened is, you know, I've seen this more than once, is needs an oxygen sensor and they just buy the cheaper one, which won't work because the car's designed for an air-fuel ratio sensor, the wideband. So a fairly common mistake if you're trying to save a few bucks. Let's see if any codes popped up right away. You probably didn't need that mass airflow sensor, I'll tell you that right now. Hope they kept the old one. So let's go right back into our data. Okay. So you see that voltage right there, 3.31. That's like the bias. Well, it's actually data. It's not the, you know, raw voltage. It's just what the computer shows, because on the wide bands you don't get the actual signal. It's like a calculated value. But the car's not loping, idle is steady without that sensor plugged in. So needs a real air-fuel ratio sensor on the upstream. Mass airflow, I would not trust that. You know, I'm 100% certain that there was nothing wrong with the OEM sensor, that I hope they didn't throw it away. So I'll tell them put that back in just for reliability. And the downstream, let's actually doing something here. I want to see if I can get that to respond at all. It's just pegged lean. Okay, let's see what codes it's at just for kicks. Codes, there you go, AFR O2 heater control circuit low, bank 1 sensor 1. That's because we unplugged it. So pretty cut and dry here. It's a Toyota, what do you expect? Last thing we can do is unplug the downstream sensor, see if that voltage goes to 0, and look for that exhaust leak. So the downstream sensor actually plugs in right in the passenger's footwell area, so I'm going to unplug it and look at the data, see if this guy responds at all. And again, this is not an OEM sensor. It is some kind of Bosch with electrical tape on it. Again, still no response here, so I want to try to drive this pin up with maybe a test light. Now we got our test light connected to a power probe cigarette lighter adapter. See the red light's on, so if we touch the ground, the test light will light. So from battery positive, let's touch a pin. Now which pin is it? So on this connector is the Bosch style. The two white ones are the heaters, and the gray and the black are signal and ground. So two top pins. Just gonna see if I can get in there. Okay, that's probably the sensor ground. Right there. So the pin over, there you go. Okay, see the scan data? 1.275. So signal integrity is good, ground is good in the sensor. Probably the sensor is just either not responding or improper. This car needs some OEM parts. That's my diagnosis.